In this video, we're diving into some very interesting data related to altcoins, specifically Ethereum and Cardano. This data is the driving force behind my belief that the altcoin bull market is still on the horizon. Even though there's a lot of speculation out there, I genuinely believe that with a fresh influx of capital and liquidity, altcoins are in the perfect position to rise like never before. Now, I'll present this data to you, but remember, this is my perspective. The market is unpredictable, and I've structured my positions in such a way that if things don't go as planned, I'm prepared to weather it. But as of now, I want to share my findings and insights. Before we start, please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's dive in. We'll begin by analyzing the Ethereum charts. I've come across some fascinating data regarding Ethereum, particularly when we zoom in on the short term and overlay with macroeconomic data. After that, I want to shift a focus to Cardano, particularly a risk model for ADA that I recently shared on X. Let's start with Ethereum. If you've been following my channel, you know I've been consistently tracking Ethereum. But let me clarify, I'm not just an Ethereum bull. In fact, I approach it with caution, though my interest in Ethereum charts remains very strong. I see Ethereum as a bellwether for the entire altcoin market. When Ethereum moves, it's often a sign that the altcoin market as a whole is gearing up for a shift, especially for smaller cap altcoins, which is essentially every altcoin compared to Ethereum. One of the key patterns we've been following on Ethereum is the symmetrical triangle formation. Now, this pattern has felt like it's been developing forever, and I've been anticipating a pullback. In many cases, when we see a breakout from such a triangle, whether it's to the upside or downside, we often witness a throwback. This means that after a breakout, price action often revisits the triangle's apex, testing the pattern once again before making the next major move. This could lead to what we call a busted pattern, which is essentially a fake out to the downside before Ethereum pushes higher. So, while the chart may appear bearish right now, I've been waiting for this setup to materialize. In addition to the triangle, I've been using a new tool from the CCV intelligence system to analyze Ethereum. This tool zooms in on short-term momentum, helping us gauge the current market sentiment. As we speak, the market for Ethereum appears neutral, with a slight bias towards the bulls. This is interesting, especially when we compare it to the massive downward pressure Ethereum has faced over the past few months. But I'm not just focusing on the short-term indicators. Let's zoom out a little and look at some historical data. Going back to 2016, we can see a similar scenario where Ethereum appeared hopeless before experiencing one of the most significant parabolic moves into the bull market. The price looked destroyed, sentiment was extremely bearish, and yet Ethereum went on to achieve incredible gains. What's striking is that right now, we're seeing very similar indicators on the Ethereum charts. We're at a point where it looks dreadful, but history tells us that such market conditions often precede a major breakout. To further emphasize this point, let's turn our attention to Ethereum's relative strength index. The RSI is one of the most widely used momentum oscillators. In 2022, Ethereum was oversold, much like it was during the 2018 bear market. But what's even more interesting is that the current market conditions resemble those of 2016, just before Ethereum began its parabolic rise. This convergence of macro and micro indicators is crucial because it tells us that Ethereum is currently in a similar position to where it was in 2016, just before the altcoin bull market really real move happens. In conclusion, both Ethereum and Cardano are showing signs that they are poised for major movements. The risk models, historical patterns, and macroeconomic factors all point to a potential altcoin bull market, though we still have to manage our risks and prepare for any scenario. As we move forward, I'll continue to monitor these altcoins closely, and I'll keep you updated on any significant changes. If you're interested in following along with my analysis and using the CCV Intelligence System tools, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates.